Hello Eurovision friends and ciao tutti. In this video I want to talk about Sanremo 2025. The Primera Serata was yesterday. We now know all the songs. They are on Spotify and I was able to listen to all of them, watch most of the performances. And in this video I want to tell you three things. First, I will tell you a few first impressions of some of the songs. I didn't do all 29 songs because I was just a bit overwhelmed. There's something good about all of them, but if I react to all of them, I'm just a bit overwhelmed. So I will tell you the ones that I like the most. I'll give you my personal top five at the moment and talk about a few more that kind of caught my attention or that are by former Eurovision artists. Then I will also try to tell you who I think should win Sanremo to give Italy the best chance of doing well at Eurovision. And then I'll also try to predict who will win Sanremo on Saturday. As I've said, I'm a huge fan of Italian music. Also, in off season, I always listen to Italian music, so I'm always excited to listen to the Sanremo songs. And there are quite a few very good ones. I don't think it's as good as the last couple of years, but still very high quality songs. Obviously, I think this is always every single year my favorite national final, along with maybe Portugal this year. So let's get right to it. My favorites, I called it, well, the songs that kind of caught my attention. And later on, as I said, I'll give you my top five. First of all, I have Fedes Batito. He is probably one of the biggest stars in the lineup. A million people have already seen his performance. It's rap in Italian. He sells it incredibly well. And I do like the song, but I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm a fan of his, and there are songs of his that I like more than his Sanremo entry this year. Then we have a Eurovision star, so to speak, Francesco Gabbani. I think his voice has gotten so interesting in this live performance. It sounds very different to his Eurovision performance. The song is a bit, nah, it feels a bit like I Did It My Way by Frank Sinatra, kind of, in the message, not so much in the music. But yeah, I'm a bit underwhelmed by that one as well. This one is really, really beautiful. Francesca Michelin. It sounds a bit like Laura Pausini to me. She performs this beautifully. She sells it with everything she has and performs it so, so well. It's a beautiful song, but it's not one that stood out especially to me. And I don't know whether I just noticed it because I know her and I really love her Eurovision song from a few years ago. Then we have Elodie. I included her because she's kind of a fan favorite every single year. I think she looks incredible, stunning. The song is good enough. It has a bit more of a melody than her previous attempts, but still not that outstanding to me. Then we get to the songs that really got my attention, caught my attention. First of all, we have Arcomi with Il ritmo delle cose. This is quite impressive because it's a very wordy song and he is able to perform it really well. I mean, it's his song, he should be able to do it. The lyrics are very intriguing about the reality of modern life, as far as I understood them, about algorithms as well. He mentions a lot of different things that have to do with modern life. Not sure whether there's a bigger message in there. Italians, if there is, do let me know. He says it's like a modern crescendo. It's a slow burning hell, love without feeling. It's a violent decrescendo. So maybe the world as it is at the moment, something like that. Do let me know in the comments, Italians, if I am overlooking something here. But the lyrics were quite intriguing to me. That's the main reason I latched onto this song. Then I have Moda. I love this beautiful piano start, which reminds me of Easy on Me by Adele. He has a voice full of character and emotion. You just realize that he's an experienced artist. The chorus is all right. The song is a little generic, but I still feel something when I listen to it. So I do like it, but there's just the spark missing to make this one of my five favorite songs. This one is so fun to watch. They're just or he, the main singer of the band, is so charismatic. I think this song is kind of like a vibe. It feels just so effortlessly cool when they perform it, like a 70s summer song, something like that. And I kind of imagine driving down the coastline of the Mediterranean in a cabrio and listen to that song. And I can imagine a movie scene with that song in the background, if that makes sense. Don't know if it does. Then this one, Rose Willen, Fuori Legge. I just really like her and her energy. The song is engaging and kind of catchy, but it's really her that sells this song to me. Then Clara with Febre. I mean, she is just stunning. Had a wonderful dress on as well, but she has a wonderful voice, great vocal control in the live performance, especially compared to the studio version. I felt like the song came alive even more. This modern beat with the spoken word or spoken singing in Italian is very current right now, I think very now. It's a catchy song as well with the chorus. And this is actually one of the songs that I think might work at Eurovision for Italy. Then Bruno Risas, L'Albero delle Noci. He's a cantautore, and you really notice that, especially not only because he's standing there alone on stage with his guitar, but also at the beginning, it kind of reminds me of these storytellers like Fabrizio De André or also Francis Cabrel. Some of the melody reminded me of Francis Cabrel, the French singer-songwriter. It's quite a simple song, but I think the chorus is quite beautiful. And just the fact that it's just him singing his song with his guitar is really fun. And it's a song about the anxiety and the joy that new birth brings, so a new child that you bring into the world, and all the mixed feelings you have of the fear of losing it, the anxiety of it growing up to be something that you didn't expect, and also the thin line between being a parent and still feeling like a child. So this big responsibility as well. So a really interesting topic for a song. And he made it into the top 5 of the Prensa at the end of the first evening. For that reason, I think, for the very good lyrics. Then we have Irama. I'm a big Irama fan. I think this is not quite as good as his previous attempts, but it's still very Irama, very anthemic ballad. And I'm just a fan of his. And I still think, even though it's not as good as the previous entries, it's beautiful. I can get that some people might think that it's a bit boring, but it's Irama, and so I like it. I'm also used to his voice because I listen to his music quite a lot, so that might have influenced my opinion. Now for Bresh, I also like his voice. The chorus is quite good, not wow or particularly inventive, the whole song actually, but overall it's good. I love his vocal tone, and it's interesting the way the lyrics describe a troubled relationship. He sings about sitting at the beach and different images that he conjures to represent this relationship in trouble. I find that really cool. Now we are getting to my top 5. So you notice I am skipping some of the songs. I forgot Massimo Ranieri, by the way. So happy he's there again, but his song is not as good as his attempt the year that Mahmoud and Blanco won. That was 2022, I do believe. Now let's get to my top 5. In 5th place, I have Joan Thiele with Echo. I just love the sound of this. I love country. And this is kind of, it starts like a Western. The whole song has a cool sound and vibe. I love her voice as well, the melodious verses and these very dark guitar riffs as well. And then later on, it feels almost a bit like Billie Eilish. I love how she performs it, again, with her guitar alone on that stage. And so this is my number 5 at the moment. My number 4 would be Simone Cristicci with Quando Sarai Piccola. At first, I didn't understand why this got so many views and is now number 1 in the odds, but then I read the lyrics, and I think the song is all about the lyrics. It's a very cute song. He has a great deep voice, not the greatest voice in the world, but still, it's not really a catchy song, but it has a very emotional climax at the end. And the song just tells of this time in life when children become the parents and have to take care of their parents who are growing older and older. And the lyrics, read them if you haven't, or if you understand Italian, I'm sure you will find a translation as well. It's about his mom who's very slowly forgetting aspects of her life, her date of birth, who her husband was, and it's just incredibly touching. And it did touch me listening to it after I realized what the lyrics were about. So it's my number four at the moment. This might be surprising to some people, but this is my number three, La Mia Parola, by a lot of people. I can mention them all. This is so groovy, soully, catchy. I love the vibe of the song. I realize that a lot of people might think this is outdated, but I just love this kind of vibe. I like the gospel choir that is singing along with them. And the lyrics are, it's a street song to give what I have. I will burn until the end. I'm kind of caught in between concrete and smog. Here, people die and live without money and alternatives. This is the only thing I know. And then he says, play this gospel from below. It is the voice of those who gather strength in these parts of Italian cities, maybe where people are not as well off. And then he also sings, the block's voice will sound louder for those times they closed the door on us. So kind of the times they didn't give us any opportunities. And it's great that this is part of the biggest night of Italian music. And the music itself really hits home with me as well. My number two is Ollie with Balorda Nostalgia. My top two songs are far above the rest for me. They really hit home and I really fell in love with them. These were the first two songs I listened to. So I thought, wow, the quality this year is out of this world. But then I listened to the other songs and realized these are actually the two best songs. I love the storytelling style in this. He's not singing all the time, he's almost speaking, especially at the beginning, and that kind of draws you in. He just gives it his absolute all in this performance. It's you see it there in the image. Amazing the kind of emotion he puts into the song and he transmits to us, to the audience as well. I absolutely love it. I can't stop watching it. It's so engaging and intriguing. I mean, lovely, really. And the lyrics talk about everyday stuff you do with a partner. The title of the song is Stupid Nostalgia. So he kind of looks back at all of these things he did with a partner. These are not special things, just everyday things, but that makes the lyrics more relatable to me. And then later on in the song, he says, I still turn on the TV just to keep me company. I still look for you at home when my back itches, and I still put an extra plate when I set the table for dinner. So he's looking back at these times and doing stuff to kind of pretend that his better half is still there, but they aren't, and that's why he is so emotional in the performance. And then my clear number one is Giorgia La Cura per me. She is absolutely stunning. I know of her, but I haven't seen her perform all that much. But I was just drawn in by her authenticity, the freshness. It feels very real what she is offering to us. She is better live than in the studio version. I prefer the live version, which is not easy to do. She seems incredibly charming as well. And this song just feels like spring to me. It doesn't have a structure that we know, or it doesn't follow a standard pop song structure, and that makes it feel very fresh. I love her voice. It's so clear but also soaring, and at the same time there's a lot of vulnerability in it, and it's so full of emotion and also hope. And yeah, lovely song. It feels different and fresh, and this is my absolute favorite. She sings about how much she loves someone, but that she's alone in an empty room, and how that person would be la cura, the cure for her, I guess, her loneliness. It is co-written by Blanco, which I realized when she sang Bugia, because that's also a big word in his song with Mahmoud, obviously. So well done, Blanco, for another great song. Then the press top five. I also wanted to mention quickly, we have Achille Lauro, who represented San Marino, obviously. This song seems very out of character for him. It's a cozy ballad with this great saxophone part, which I really like, but otherwise, it's not a song that gets me excited 100%. It's about young love, and yes, it's very out of character for him, but I don't quite understand why this was in the top five at the end. Same thing for this one, Lucio Corsi, Volevo essere un duro, a sweet mid-tempo kind of song, but nothing too special for me. I do like the lyrics, how the world wants us to be kind of perfect, strong like a stone, and then we turn out in a different way and have to accept that. That's fine, but the song itself is not that interesting to me. Then we have obviously Georgia. We have Simone Cristici as well with the beautiful lyrics, and we have Cantautore Brunori Saz. Now, let's get to the part of the video where I talk about who should win Sanremo. And here, for the big five countries, so the countries that don't have to qualify to the final at Eurovision, I would always recommend, because of the fact that the semifinals are 100% televote, which means that a lot of televote-friendly songs will qualify to the final, and then they will even each other out, steal points from each other, and the songs that are more jury-friendly will really get a lot of jury points. And that is why I would recommend to all the big five countries, really, to send kind of jury-friendly songs. I think Ollie's song is a very jury-friendly song, but also has a lot of appeal for the televote because it's just really beautiful. Same thing for Georgia. I think this could be a jury winner at Eurovision. The freshness of the composition, her great way of performing, her great vocals as well. This could win the jury vote, and this would also do incredibly well, I'm quite sure, with the televote. And if Italy chooses her, I can see Italy actually become the favorite to win Eurovision this year. And then I also think that Clara has the kind of song which is modern with a catchy beat, with the spoken word Italian. And she has the look for Eurovision as well. So this might be another way to go, not a ballad approach, but still a very, very good song that could get a lot of jury points and also get lots of televote. Now, when we talk about my prediction who will win Sanremo, I've seen that Fedesh's song has gotten over 1 million views. Georgia's song is quite popular, and then also Simone's song. So in the end, I think either it's him, because I think a lot of people can relate to this really sweet message or sad message and touching message of the song. He is, I think, at the moment #1 in the odds. I think Georgia is in it with a chance because of all the reasons I mentioned when I talked about the song. And so I think it will be one of those. I also thought about Ollie possibly doing it, but the fact that he wasn't in the top five of the press kind of changed my opinion on that. And then Fedez also wasn't in the top five of the press. I think he's going to get a big televote because he's a big star in Italy. But I would say it's between Georgia and Simone. And then at the end, I would pick Georgia because, as I said, I think this could actually be a Eurovision winner. Do let me know who your favorites are in Sanremo, who you think Italy should send to Eurovision, and then I'll see you for my next video if you subscribe to the channel, that is. See you then, ciao, and bye-bye.